Good morning, you listen to FloorDaily.net, and I'm Kemp Harr. This morning, I have two guests from the Merchandise Mart. I have Lisa Simonian and Byron Morton. Lisa, the Vice President of Marketing, and Byron, the Vice President of Leasing. How you guys doing today?
Good, Kemp. Thank you.
Doing really well, Kemp. Glad to be online with you.
Yeah, it's good to talk to you. You know, Byron, we've been doing this for many years. Usually we're ramping up to the show. We've got airline tickets in our pocket. We're talking about what's going to happen in Chicago next week, and that's not happening this year, is it?
No, unfortunately it's not. You know, we had to make really a heartbreaking decision as a team and as an industry back in March to cancel NeoCon 2020 altogether. We gathered our industry association partners and publication partners and several manufacturers, some of whom were from the floor covering industry, and it was a unanimous decision that we needed to just cancel NeoCon until 2021. You know, we're excited for next year only because we know there will be so much pent-up demand, and this year is the first year that NeoCon hasn't happened in 52 years.
Right.
We know it was the right decision and, frankly, the only decision to be made.
Yeah, I know you'll have a big crowd next year because we are missing this. You know, interior finishes, most people know this is the largest interior finishes expo in the business. You just can't. You got to look at them. You got to touch them. You got to feel them. You got to be able to hear the story behind it. And I know we're going to talk about NeoConnect here in just 1 second, and that's going to catch us through to next year. But I'm looking forward already to next year. Lisa, Vice President of Marketing, and you've been with the Mart for many years, haven't you?
Yeah, 17 years, in 2003.
All right, so they've thrown you this task when they announced NeoCon was going to be canceled. What can we do from a virtual standpoint? So tell us a little bit about what's going on with that.
As Byron mentioned, it was heartbreaking to have to cancel NeoCon. We put in so much work into what would have been a very dynamic and robust physical experience in Chicago for 2020. And the good news is now we have a lot already in place for what's going to be an incredible NeoCon 2021. But we didn't want to wait until next year to do what we can do to bring the NeoCon community together. So important for people to do business and to learn from each other and to connect and support one another and celebrate together, win, and however possible. So yes, we put together NeoConnect with our exhibitors and our media partners and our community partners. And the idea is for a virtual platform for the community to connect, to see new product, to attend CEU webinars, virtual social events, hear from one another with different creative ideas and inspiration. We launched on Monday, and the program runs throughout the month of June, and we've already had a tremendous response.
Okay, so it's on the same NeoCon URL that you normally use. It's a virtual trade show, and like you say, you've got links to exhibitors, you've got some programming. Is some of the programming live and some of it in a podcast form?
Yes, all will run live at a designated time.
All right.
Have programming running each day of the week from us as well as from our partners.
Yeah.
So it runs live. It's complimentary. You can register up to the last minute at neocon.com. But we are recording each of the NeoCon-hosted programs, so you are able to watch them after the fact.
And you've been able to pull together some interesting content. Give us a couple of highlights. Like I know you've got Cheryl Durst, and she's hosting a couple of things.
Yes. So on Monday the 8th, Cheryl is doing a special presentation on Design 2030 and the importance of the connection and collaboration across design disciplines. So we're really excited about that one. She's also doing a discussion with Amanda Williams, who's an architect and artist here in Chicago, very prominent, as well as the curator of the MCA here in Chicago about the connection between design, art, and culture. So we have a lot of programming like that, but we also have programming that gets at the tactical. Today we had a program about the need for different materials in healthcare settings and now in workplaces that's resistant to viruses and germs. So there's a lot of new programming out there and a lot of new knowledge we had for sure from what we've learned of the last several months.
Yeah, and some of it is CEU accredited, right? I mean, you can actually get some credit hours for watching some of this.
Yes, exactly. every day at 10 a.m. Central, we host a NeoCon CEU accredited program. And a lot of the partner programming is accredited as well.
And how do you link with exhibitors through this site?
We have a portal. Exhibitors are able to load in information about new products, images, links to virtual product launches, and other types of programming, videos, press releases. So basically, they're able to communicate, what is important for the A&D community to see. Obviously, this doesn't in any way replace the physical, direct experience,
right,
between people and products, but it does provide value in the interim.
Yeah. Your show usually attracts about 50,000 people, most of them A&D. I know you're not going to get anywhere close to that, but you got any anticipated audience size that you think you'll draw with this?
It'll be interesting. The only measurements we have so far are attendees to the 3 programs that we put on, and each of the programs, we had 1,000 attendees.
Yeah.
So we were pretty pleased with that. And in looking at the types of attendees, it's certainly members of the A&D community and the big design firms, but we're getting a lot of international attendees. So that's something that is new, for us, that, we are now able to have access to a wider international audience. So that's definitely a silver lining.
We all were in big surprise to see the AIA billing index go down so severely last month. But we're encouraged to hear that all the things that are going on are creating the need for some creative thinking to modify the spaces that are out there. So I'd say design is in high demand right now, wouldn't you?
Oh, absolutely. The world is changing.
Yeah.
Every day it's changing, and, design can really help us respond to those changes. If you look at the programming that we're hosting, and our partners are hosting as well, you'll see, a lot of great ideas and a lot of new tactics toward design in this new world.
Byron, what's your take on how design in space is going to change based on what we're going through right now?
I think we'll see changes in products across all categories, floor covering, furnishings, and textiles. I think the focus in the workplace and really in any public space is going to be more focused than ever on health and wellness and humanity, frankly.
All right, guys. Great to talk to you again. Been talking to Lisa Simonian and Byron Morton about NeoConnect, and I encourage everybody to go. You can see the menu of what's to come for the following month. Runs to the end of the month at neocon.com, and you've been listening to Kemp Harr and FloorDaily.net.